like completely overloaded. That's why we're doing this separation. Look at that in there. Wow, look, Laura, vas ahí adentro. And this is right in front of our kitchen. Imagine, there's no smell, and it works incredibly well. So we're not going to disturb this too much. We're just going to divide it up a little bit so everything has a new start. Look at this. Okay, so we have these guys on the bottom. I'm going to leave this intact on the bottom. So the only thing we have left to do is to top it off with some really dry, rich soil. That's next. We're going to do that. Okay, I'm happy with that. We have 3 good starting points. And we have all these little guys here too. Look at these guys. These are real workhorses. They love getting in that compost as well. Now, one thing we don't do is we don't drill holes in the lid because we don't want too much water in there. Empiezas there, Rodrigo. So we actually don't drill physical holes because we find that these bins will fill up completely with water if you have any holes in the lid. And there's enough oxygen. We've never had any oxygen problems. Yeah, we're going to flip these bins over, one of them at least, to see what the worm story is. These other bins seem to have more of these bugs that don't like the light when you take the lid off. There's so many of them. So we're going to flip this guy and see what actually, what our worm count is. See how many worms are inside here.
Yeah, when you do these experiments, you kind of have to figure out solutions and problems and answers. We figured out that our compost is way too wet.
And I don't like disturbing these guys, but we're going to do it anyways, just to get a video on this.
At the very bottom of the bins, there seems to be some type of a chemical deposit that is very toxic almost. It's very strong. There's no worms in that zone. It just destroyed the filter cloth.
Wow. I don't like the fact that this soil is so wet. Even the filter cloth, they're chewing the filter cloth. Very interesting. Wow. The worms are eating the filter cloth. That's pretty crazy. Look at that. They've digested the whole filter cloth.
Yeah, there seems to be a very strong chemical or some type of chemical reaction here on the bottom. Look at this green stuff. It's just almost alive. It's like a life form.
We split this bunch into 3. It's good for me to see this because it looks almost like the worms, the soil is a bit too wet. There's definitely a lot of worms, but not the numbers I thought would be there. Okay, we're going to put it all back together again. Like a little bit like Humpty Dumpty. Try not to damage any of the worms. Yeah, there are some beetles in here too. Oh yeah, there's a lot more worms. Okay. Right there. Okay. The mix is quite wet. There are quite a few. We did just recently split this into 3 groups, so maybe this is okay. Maybe the numbers are good. These guys have more big beetles. Oh yeah, there's a lot more worms in this one. This is one of the newer bins. Seems a bit drier. But look at that filter cloth. It's just being destroyed, maybe by the chemicals in the compost. Oh yeah. Huh. Oh yeah. Look at that. This one seems a little bit drier. It seems like the humidity is the biggest problem with these composting bins. You have to keep them nice and dry. Yeah. Okay. Still seems quite wet. If you use a flat blade shovel on a flat surface, it doesn't really hurt too many worms. And you can get it cleaned up a lot quicker. Yeah, this bin definitely has more worms than the original bin. Yeah, these worms make quick work of the eggshells. The other bin had lots of eggshells and are all completely disintegrated. So there's a lot going on inside one of these bins. I'll tell you, there's lots of chemicals going on that are quite potent to eat that, just to destroy that fabric like that. That's crazy. Yeah, we use these worms for our trench composting, nothing else. So we kind of have this idea that we use them just to put in the trenches and get them to work there, and it works really well for us. Anyways, that was a good experiment to see what it looks like inside these bins, and just to rotate them.